If you have a vehicle that looks like this, it may be in your best interest to watch this video. I've changed many brake lines in my day, but I've never done a vehicle that's only 9 years old. So I'd say if you got a vehicle that's around 8 years old, maybe 7, you may want to get your brake lines checked. Unfortunately, it's all covered under plastic. So this was 9 years old and he didn't find out until after a brake line broke. I'm going to give you a quick walk around and show you the shape of the vehicle. Then I'm going to go underneath and show you what's extremely dangerous on this. Okay, so we'll walk around. Everything's good shape. No rust. You notice I got a few things off the vehicle, one being the front half of the inner fender, the back half of the inner fender. There we go. And then we have the back rear inner fender. And then we got that plastic that goes all along the inside. So we'll come over to the left front, which is the driver's front. Now we're looking at brake lines here. You can start seeing where it was into this clamp. A little paint coming off it here. And you go down. It's looking pretty good. And along here you got a same thing, a little bit of bubbling, rust starting underneath, paint chipping away. If you look, like I say, this vehicle's not rusted. Everything's good. But right here, one of those clamps, up top where you see the paint that was chipped, well, that's what eventually is going to happen to it. It's going to start leaking like this. Okay, and then we've moved further down this brake line. Next clamp is good. Now we go down to this brake clamp. And this one, up there, the outer one's leaking. This one's the inner one's leaking. You can see all the rust, or not leaking, but it's got a lot of rust on it. So, like I say, not much rust on this vehicle. Everything is looking good. Like I say, it's 9 years old. This shouldn't be happening. Something's wrong. I think it's just improper material. Now we come to the back, rear brakes, back of the vehicle. There was a bit of rust here, but I blew it off. And the brake lines up there were fairly good. Fairly good. Of course, this was all covered with a inner fender. But if you look right here, let's get the light. Right there. Rusted again. So that means the brake line coming to the left front has to be changed. Cross, but let's go back underneath and I'll show you the crossover. I'll take a picture of it and put it in the video. But the crossover right here, the paint peeled in one little spot and it's rusted. So therefore that's going to break soon. Because of this, I have to do the entire rear brake lines on a 9-year-old vehicle. I've done plenty of brake lines in my day. Never done a vehicle under 15 years old in this area with the salt. I know they put a brine on the road, but it's still no excuse to have that much rust on a vehicle that's not really that old. When you run across this, and I know you will, if you own a Mercedes, yeah, your ABS module, what you don't want to do is you don't want to just take these lines off, one there and one here, and mark them. So the top one, I got to follow it down and find out which side it goes to. Whatever you do, don't mix these up because your traction control and everything else will be all backwards on the computer. So I say top here, I'm going to follow this one down and mark what side is what. I know it's marked up here. I'd have to go through the book, but it's a lot easier if I just turned around and just follow the line. It'd be a lot easier. But what you don't want let air into your system. The reason why I'm doing this is it's going to take, parts just came in for this today. It's been to get all the right lines and everything else and the fittings. I guess we have a part shortage in a few places. It's been about a week. Anyway, finally all the parts are in. It's going to get replaced. So in the meantime, I took these lines off because they're going to be off for at least a full day. Blocked this off. I made 2 bubble flare ends, 10 millimeter. The line's copper nickel is what I'm using because they'll never rust again. But make sure you don't drain your system. Block it off, and then you got all the time in the world to change your lines without bleeding. If you drain your system down, then you're into a bit of trouble. And then you're going to get air into it. Brake fluid, air is moisture, it's going to start corroding everything, and you're going to ruin your entire ABS module and possibly your master cylinder. So if you're looking at it, what these are, you can see that it's a bubble flare and 10 millimeter. So I'll be running all the way from the ABS module all the way back. So I'm not going to bore you with doing the lines because it is a little bit, it's frustrating doing brake lines. There's no getting around it. It's not fun. At least there's no rust on the vehicle, which I've never done brake lines on a vehicle without having a whole bunch of rust falling in my eyes. This is kind of first. Of course, Mercedes Benz. Anyway, so I'll bring you back when I get further on. I'll show you how I make the ends up. Flaring the last brake line, which goes into the side here, which shows me here it's on the right hand side. The line's already run. Always make sure to put this on. So far I've been lucky. I haven't forgot one. It does happen. So we got it rough. We cut it. We cleaned it out. We made sure that the end fits in for the flaring. Finished flaring the last line. Flare is pretty good. The tool, this tool here, works pretty good. I'll put a link in there in the description. Anyway, we'll put the tool away and we got to get this line over here. This one is already done and it's capped here and capped down there and bled. So this one's going on now. And I made sure the master cylinder stayed full through the whole process. Okay, so I'm going to take you underneath to show you all the lines, and I'll button it up here. I still got to bleed this side. I'm going to flush the system out, but I'm going to bleed this side first, then flush. Down the fender, around. You got to watch. You've got to come around stuff like this because your inner fender bolts in. Oh, it's too bright. Bolts in right there. They come down. Up there's the front of the vehicle. All the lines all back in their holder. I've already started the vehicle just to apply the brake with maximum pressure. Okay, and the brakes come around, same factory spot. The sleeves on there to protect them from chafing. They come up and around. And I have one union there going to the other side. But this side here goes right down to a brand new flex line. The flex line was too bad to get the end out, so I had to replace flex lines also. And I've already applied maximum pressure. I started the vehicle and held the brakes down really hard. I have no leaks. Okay, we get the brake lines coming out there, going into the, again, new flex line with the bracket to hold the flex line in, which I had to pick up from Mercedes Benz. Nobody else carried it. Into the flex line, and like I say, nothing's leaking. My vehicle's 21, and all brake lines on that are still perfect. Inner fenders and plastic, that's got to go back. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and don't forget the thumbs up. Thanks for watching my video. Bye for now.